Hi everyone. Hi everyone. It's Carrie Ann Finley, and I'm from Spiritual Awakening Academy. And I wanted to talk to you tonight about psychic protection. Hi everyone. Hi, we're just going live now. It's Carrie Ann Finley, and I'm from Spiritual Awakening Academy. And I wanted to open up the chat to anyone who's having some trouble with psychic protection tonight. And why this is coming up is I have quite a few students who are telling me that they're protecting themselves, but they're still feeling that there's something getting in. They've got the negative energies or spirits maybe in their home, or they've got a lot of negative mental chatter. There's a lot of negative issues that are still remaining, even though they're protecting themselves. And so, what you might not realize is that spiritual protection is a threefold process. So I'm just going to spend a few minutes explaining all the things that are involved in psychic protection. And then as people are coming on and putting their questions in, I'll start taking questions. If I don't get to the end of all the questions, I'll connect to you all after because I've only got about 30 minutes to spend on this, but it should be more than enough time. So when we go to psychic protection, there's three ways that you need to protect yourself. If you're only doing one of the three or two of the three, then you're leaving the door open for something to come in. And so we've got mind, body, and spirit. All three aspects need to be protected. Now, a lot of people are familiar with visualizing a bubble of light around you or calling angels to come in, but it's still not enough. Especially right now, what's going on is we have so much darkness right now being purged, looking for homes, right? So the darkness and the spirits are going to be looking for people to attach to. Anybody that has a lower vibration will be susceptible. So you want to keep your vibration high, but also you want to go over the mind, body, spirit aspects. And so let's talk about this for a minute. When we go to the mind, you really have to be sure that you got the mental chatter thing down. And I did talk about that last week. So, mental chatter is when you've got all the gunk going on in your head. And I like to call it the mental wheel of doom, right? Because you're just rehashing the old baloney over and over because you're upset about something that wasn't resolved and your mind's trying to find a solution, right? And or you've got an emotional attachment to it, so it keeps popping up to try and get resolved. We can't do that anymore. You've got to let it go. You've got to dump out the mental chatter because it's one of the number one things that attracts negative energy to you. And so the exercise that I gave you on the talk last week was when the negative chatter comes in, just take a moment to relax. I close my eyes, take in a deep breath, let out all the energy that's in your mind out. And then I cancel the screen out, I make it blank. Then I replace it with something positive, and I say cancel, clear, delete. I'm retraining my brain to be positive. Blank out the negativity, cancel, clear, delete, replace it with something positive. So then we've got this aspect of mental chatter that can be completely removed. It takes about 28 to 30 days. I know some of you actually messaged me last time that you've got a handle on the mental chatter, and kudos to you because that is so awesome. I know when it happened to me, it was just like heavenly. I woke up one morning and it was gone. And I've never had it come back since, but I'm very diligent. I'm very diligent on as soon as the negative thoughts come in, I cancel it out, blank screen, cancel, clear, delete. I replace it with something positive over and over and over. And even now, you know, maybe something pops in just randomly here and there, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks, and then I just deal with it right away because the darkness is always going to try. Remember that. The negative energy is always going to try to find a way in because they want your light. The darkness wants your light because you have so much energy to give them, and that's what they're looking for, energy to survive. So if you even just entertain a dark thought or go to a dark place for a short time, it's going to start building and building until it lowers your vibration and it creates a crack for entities and negative energies to come through, right? And so that can be a problem. What else have we got here? So if we're doing with the mind, there's actually a few other things. When we get to the mind aspect, we've got the protective bubble, right? You're protecting yourself with white or golden light. I always see myself completely covered in a suit of armor, whichever suit of armor feels right for you. And also, I see a protective tool in my dominant hand. And so I'm doing this in the morning when I wake up, and I do it at night before I go to bed. I can also do it at any time during the day when I'm feeling vulnerable, okay? Or you just don't feel strong enough. Reinforce it as many times as you need it. And so we've got those two parts to the mind, right? Clearing the mental chatter and doing your visualization, okay? Then when we go to the body, I know this is an aspect that brings question marks to people all the time because they don't quite understand where to go with this. The body is setting up boundaries. It's your physical boundaries. It's being able to say no, and not letting people run over you, having the confidence to stand in your power and say, well, I'm not really comfortable with this, and I don't think I want to be with this energy anymore, and then you can walk away. It's exercising your power to stand in your power and say no, and then you really give your power back to you. You're taking your power back. It's huge, huge. If you had any idea, this is probably one of the biggest cracks that I find when I'm dealing with students that people have. They don't realize how big boundaries are and the ability to say no. So I'm really clear on my boundaries today, but 20 years ago when I was learning this stuff, my boundaries were terrible. I almost never said no to people. I did whatever they wanted me to do. I used to just want to be nice and make friends, and the world's all a happy place, and I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And you got to get over it because the darkness doesn't think that way. And once you learn, if you've ever been under attack by negative energy, it will change you forever. It happened to me a couple of times. I mean, it's happened to me several times over the years, is how I learned how to protect myself this way. But it only needs to happen to you one or two times in the beginning for you to start standing up and standing in your power and saying, there's no way you're going to cross this line because I'm stronger than you. And here's the secret. You are stronger than the darkness, but the darkness does not want you to know this. The darkness wants you to think you're weaker and you have no power over it. And the secret sauce to being filled with light and filled with love is just that. They cannot take the energy, the darkness cannot take the energy of love and light. And so that's why they don't want you to know this. They don't want you to know that it could be possible that you have more power over them. And so over the years, I mean, in the beginning, I remember fighting so hard to protect myself and arming myself with armies of angels. And yes, you can do these things. But because the energy of love is so abhorrent to them and something that they dislike so much, all you have to do is send out love and light, and it sends the darkness away. Now, having said that, because we're still on the body part, love is what you need to work on for you to seal up the cracks in your armor so that it's nice and strong and there's no way that they can get in. And so being able to say to yourself in a mirror, I love you, I love myself, I love who I am, even though I'm not perfect. Sure, I've got lots of imperfections, but I can accept who I am and I can love myself. And on the other side of things, looking out in the world on friends and family and people you meet every day or maybe work with, I can still do the same thing. I can say to each and every one of them, I love you. If you can't, if you feel like when you say I love you, and often I just say it in my mind, because obviously you can't go walk up to strangers and tell them you love them. They're going to think you're crazy. But often, even when I'm standing in a grocery line, I'm just sending love and light. Close my eyes and send love and light to everybody in the grocery line. It's just like sending them a big hug. But if you can do that, it's going to raise your vibration so high, the negative energy does not want to be there. It's repellent. And so, guess what? They're going to go look for the weaker people, the people who don't know these things and who might have cracks in their energy protection, right? And it's easier for them to get in. Why would they stay with you when it's so hard to break your armor, right? So, it's really important to go to this body part. Now, when we move past the body part, you've got to go to mind, body, spirit. Spirit is the last part, which is actually still quite as important as all three. And so spirit is your spirit yourself, but also the spirits that you call in around you. First of all, your spirit, you want to reinforce your protection and make sure you can visualize it completely protected. You're completely protected with a ball of light. And what you also want to do is call in helpers. You want to call in your angels. You want to call in any other helpers that you know. It could be Jesus. It could be Mother Mary. It could be Ganesh. And it doesn't really matter who the helpers are. But what matters is you believe that they have the ability to help and protect you. So your faith spiritually is strong in your connection to these helpers. And those are the three aspects to psychic protection. The three aspects are really important. And just think of it as like a stool with three legs. If any one of those aspects or legs of the stool of mind, body, and spirit are missing, you're going to fall down. You're going to be weak, right? So I just want to get you to ask yourselves, am I weak in any one of these three places, in either mind, in body, or in spirit? And you have to be honest with yourself. I had to do the same thing, and I still check on myself all the time and say, okay, am I weak right now? Because, let's say I've had a really hard week. I've been working extra hours. I'm overtired. I haven't been eating well. And so my energy's low. I would know that probably in my body, I might be a little bit weaker than normal. I've just got to double check things, get a lot of sleep, protect my energy. And so I want to just go through and see if there's any questions here. Okay, so here we go. Okay, there's a couple of questions here. Okay, so the first one, I've got a question about, the first one is, when I go to sleep tonight, at night, I have nightmares. And so at night, when you're having nightmares, it is a sign of a spirit attachment, something that's negative energy that's attached to you. And so you can reinforce your three aspects, your mind, body, and spirit. Also, what you want to double check is, has this been a repeat pattern? Has this happened to you before? Could it be something that's reoccurring from the past that you might need to dig into deeper? If it's not something that you can resolve yourself, the nightmares, it usually means that there's an energy attachment to you or in your home that needs to be cleared. And actually this weekend, on Saturday morning from 9:30 till 11:30, I'm clearing energy attachments and teaching people how to do that in a class. So you can direct message me if you want to be part of that class. It's $35. It's from 9:30 till 11:30 Saturday morning. And you can direct message me. I'll get you set up and registered and send you the link. It's a little bit more advanced to deal with when you've got nightmares and spirit attachments. There's several things that you need to do outside of the mind, body, spirit protection to remove them and then build up your protection so that it doesn't happen again. Let's see what other questions we've got here now. Okay, so what I've got here, okay, somebody is asking about they're fine when they're at home, and when they go out to work, they're finding that they're having issues at work, and just not feeling protected enough. So this is actually a really good question. And the thing is here, if it's specific to an environment where you're having an issue, check out the energy of the environment, because the energy of the environment that you're in is probably quite low. And this goes back to boundaries. So if the energy of your environment, let's just say your work environment is really negative and maybe abusive, maybe it's filled with people who have a lot of gossip, they're gossiping all the time or talking about people, or maybe even talking about you behind your back, that kind of negative behavior. The energy is so low that it will actually pull you down while you are there. And even if you have a really good, strong mind, body, spirit protection, it can still lower your energy because it's sucking the energy out of you, all that negative stuff. So you really have to ask yourself, is it worth being here? Do I want to be here? Most people are going to say, no, I don't like that job anyway, or it's not what I like to do, or I don't like the environment. And so I'm going to say, why are you there? Part of loving yourself and honoring who you are is standing in your power and saying, you're better than this, and it's time to move on. And sometimes it takes a little bit of work to get this done, right? You might have to put out a few resumes. It might take some time to find a new job. But let me tell you, you're going to be so much happier at your new place, right? You'll choose something that honors you, that you feel really confident. You've got good boundaries. It builds you up when you go there every day, so it energizes you. It's key. It's key. So that's actually a really good question. What else do we have here? I'll check the other ones. Okay. And so what else we've got here is there's another question that, right, I understand. Okay. So the other question here is that this mom is really high energy, and she protects herself all the time, but her children, she's finding, are bringing in a lot of negative energy from school, from friends, also from ups and downs emotionally. You know, kids can be really up and down. And that's actually a good question. So what you have to do is, especially parents with kids, so my kids are grown now, but when my kids were little, I taught them psychic protection, and just make it a game and teach them to try and be in the best space they can be for themselves, so that they're not moving really high emotionally and really low emotionally all the time. It's those swings in emotion that really pulls our energy and can take away from your energy and take away from your protection. That's a really good question. Okay, and what else do we have here? We've got another question. All right. Okay, so this next question is, right before I go to sleep at night, I protect myself, but I can still hear things in the house at night. And yeah, it is a good question, actually. And so the thing that happens at night is, spirit activity is a lot more active in the evenings, right? And so when we've got a lot of spirit activity in the house, usually it's going to be between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m., or between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. And that's just the best time for spirits to be moving around, and the veils between our worlds and their worlds are the thinnest. So it's the easiest for you to hear them. Also, I'm sure your house is probably a lot quieter than normal. Your subconscious mind, while you're dreaming, can actually pick up on spirit activity quite quickly. And especially if you're one to protect yourself, it's going to be an extra sensitive aspect of who you are. Your subconscious mind will be just like scanning for spirit activity all night, just to make sure that you're protected. So you might be hypersensitive to what's happening in the house, which is fine. I'm like that too, actually. I find even though I have really good sleeps, I always sleep with one ear open and I can hear everything that's going on. And sometimes it's a bit unsettling because there is a lot of activity at night. But I reinforce my protection if I'm concerned. I call in my angels. Just check in with yourself, check in with your heart, and just see Does this feel like it's really high energy? Does it feel like it's really low energy? Does it feel like I need to act on this? Do I need to talk to this energy, or just feel it and then act on what your intuition is telling you? That's the most important part. Usually, it's actually your loved ones coming to visit you at night and people who have passed over that want to talk to you, because the veils between the worlds are the thinnest, and so they're able to connect with you easier. And they know that the information will go through to your subconscious mind more clearly, so they're trying to get your attention. That's all it is. Also, I do sleep with night lights because the lights do help. The lights do help keep the negative energy away, actually. Again, the darkness doesn't like light, right? And if you find that you're extra sensitive to the negative energies, a night light is very helpful. And I have several. I actually have quite a lot of night lights. And that's actually really important to look after yourself as well if you're hypersensitive to things. All right, what else do we have here for questions? I'll check another one right here. Okay. All right, so the next question is, when I'm doing psychic protection, I'm not able to visualize my protective bubble and my suit of armor and my protective tool. Some people can't visualize very well, and really it just takes a little bit of practice. So I would say in the beginning, if you're not able to visualize it, find a picture of on the internet of what you think your suit of armor would look like, so you can have a picture right in front of you. And just let your intuition guide you. Maybe it's something that you really like when you're scrolling through armor on the internet. I know my suit of armor is like a Roman soldier, okay? And I don't know why, it's just what my intuition always popped up and put in for me. You can also do a protective, print a protective tool picture so that you have a picture right in front of you, and then practice looking at these things. Look at it on the paper, close your eyes, and envision it, right? Envision it on you. And then look on the paper, and then again, practice. And even if you can't see it, it's still starting to create those patterns in your mind. So it will start to do that for you. And eventually, you'll just be able to close your eyes and it will come through. Okay? I have another question. All right. Okay, the other question, we've got another question here is, all right, somebody here has a question that they're having trouble understanding the three aspects. So let's go back to the mind, body, and spirit for a minute. So the three aspects, the mind, body, and spirit, the three aspects of protection. Remember the mind. You've got to really get a good fix on your mental chatter. It's key, okay? So that's really the number one thing you've got to work on, clearing your mental chatter. Another trick for clearing mental chatter, if you're having issues with it, is actually going for walks. Long walks outside, it helps quite a bit. Exercising, fresh air, getting your mind to relax. If you're having trouble releasing mental chatter, you can also use chanting. So chanting phrases like Om Mani Padme Hum or Om, right? All those kinds of things will help to focus the mind in a more positive direction rather than on the mental chatter. So that might help a little bit. When we're focusing on, so then the next aspect of mind is the golden bubble, protective bubble, the suit of armor, and the tool, right? So you've got those two things. And I know this sounds like a lot of work, but it only is a lot of work in the beginning. And then once you get this going as a system, it's click, click, click. It just takes 2 seconds. Mind, body, spirit, I got it all sorted out. Okay, but having said that, let's go back to the body part. So, body, when it comes to boundaries and confidence, that might take a little bit longer in the beginning if you haven't set it up already. So it could take, a few months to a few years to set up your boundaries if you're having issues with them and people that you need to deal with. But once you get over those, you can actually do it quite quickly because the systems are already in place. So if you get a rogue person coming in with negative energy, you just have to stand in your power and either move away from them or ask them to leave, right? And it's done. You're not dealing with years and years and years of not having boundaries and not saying no. So keep on it. If that's the aspect that you're having trouble with, I say keep on it. It will come. Stand in your power and ask your angels to help you stand in your power and have the courage to say no. It's really, really important. Okay, so we've got mind and we've got body. Then we go to spirit. So just to make sure that spirit part is clear, the spirit part is you call in angels, you can call in spirit guides, you can call in any one energy that one or more energies that make you feel comfortable and strong. Like it could be Jesus or Mother Mary, it could be Saint Germain, it could be Archangel Raphael, Archangel Michael. If it makes you feel strong and protected, it's good. You've got to be really careful though. The beings that you're calling in, just don't call in random people. Having said that, if your mother or father has passed away, you can ask them for protection because they will protect you. But the energies floating around that we can't see sometimes will try to disguise themselves and jump in. So you just want to ask for energies of 100% love and light to be around you at all times. And so I make sure that even though I'm asking Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, or Mother Mary, I'm still also saying, as I close my eyes and I visualize the protection, I'm saying only 100% pure light can enter my space and protect me at all times. So I'm very clear about that, right? Okay. And then if you have any more questions, put them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them, but also you can direct message me if you want to sign up for the class for Saturday. Again, it's from 9:30 till 11:30 in the morning, and it's $35. And I'll go over specifics about energy attachments, how to remove them, and how to raise your vibration and really make sure your energy is very protected so it's not happening to you on a regular basis. Okay? Okay, I'm going to head out. Hope you guys all have a wonderful evening and sending you all lots of love and light. Okay, see you next time. Oh yeah, next week. Next week we're going to talk about raising your vibration. And there's actually 3 aspects to raising your vibration that are key. And I'm going to go over those as well. It's not just enough to do a few things again because the environment that we're in right now has so much darkness. We got to kick things up a notch and do a lot of layering. So I'll go over that next week and explain the 3 ways to enhance and raise your vibration. Okay, have an awesome night. Love you guys. Bye.